Okay, with the winning filmmaker and star of Hammerstone meets Woofstock, Josh Holliday is with us. We know him. He comes to the festival a lot. He's there all the time. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I didn't ask you to prepare for this question.
Sure.
But of all the films you've seen in the last, like, say, 6 months at our festival, because you've been to a lot of festivals, is any film that
Yeah,
stands
yeah.
out for you? Like, what any favorites?
Ah, that's a hard one because there's so many genres. Um, there's the one at the most recent. There's one of the most recent one that I thought was really well done and really well produced. But I can't recall the name of it.
Documentary festival?
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, I gotta rack my brain.
What was it about?
It was one of the it was one of it was one of the better the better ones of that festival. It was really well produced. I think partially because it had like a pretty significant like crew and everything
Yeah.
on it. I also like some of the sci-fi ones that they were sort of fun.
Okay.
There's the one about the 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 alien and the kid and the guy in the workshop. I can't remember what it's called, but uh, it was good.
So you like some of
Uh,
the films, like you like the films, like so
I
I
do,
guess why
yeah.
you
I
come.
like well, I love the fact that there's a variety. So if there's one that's not necessarily to your taste, you just wait 5 minutes, and then there's something that's going to be something you like. So it's something different every few minutes. So.
Okay, so let's talk about Hammerstone meets Wolfstock. It's a comedy, it's a mockumentary, it's a
Sure.
documentary. How would you describe it?
That's the tricky part. I guess mockumentary because
But it's
part of it
really,
is
but
real
you're talking
people,
to
and then
real
part of
people,
it
right?
is yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the only people that were aware of the fact I was in character were the on stage people, like the host and the other judge and the sound and the festival people. But in terms of the walking around the festival, all those people were just I think just approached by this oddball radio guy.
So you're playing kind of like a buffoon in a sense.
Yeah, I love like that's my favorite. Whenever I think of my favorite comedy, the stuff that makes me laugh the most, it's always buffoon characters, like Steve Carell from The Office,
Yeah.
or Sacha Baron Cohen characters, or even Homer Simpson. Just buffoon characters. I have a special love for.
It's like high confidence, like it's the high confidence, like not living in reality kind of characters, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, high confidence, but high ineptitude as well.
Yeah. High enough to do. So Will Ferrell has kind of had a career.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
his
good.
films have
Yeah,
been purchased because of that character that he's played, right? So yeah,
yeah. That's a good example too. Yeah,
yeah,
most of his films he plays kind of a lovable kind of
yeah,
goofball, but yeah, the buffoon for sure.
yeah. Okay, you went to this Wolfstock, so you went to this, I guess, dog festival. Like it's one of there's a large dog festival in Ontario.
Yeah, in it's the biggest dog festival in North America. So what happened is it's been running in Toronto forever. It used to be down St. Lawrence Market area, and it bounced around. And the last bunch of years, it had been at Woodbine Park. And in the last Wolfstock before the pandemic, it's basically a comedy team, Steve and Tawny. So we hosted the morning show, Steve and Tawny morning show, and we were judges on Wolfstock the last one before the pandemic. And after I did it, I was sort of frustrated and had regrets about not having any kind of even audio, any video, no no evidence that we had done it because we had a really good time and it was a lot of laughs. So I vowed to myself that the next time the we do the festival that I'm gonna get it on film and make a project out of it. And that was the notion was hatched before the pandemic happened, so had to wait till the pandemic ended, and then there was even a year beyond the pandemic before they finally got the show on the road.
Yeah.
And then Lisa, my partner, was unavailable on the date because it's only one specific weekend, so had to work around that. So it became a solo effort.
So you usually work with somebody else. You usually work like have a co-partner.
For this character in particular, up until that point, so we initially we created these characters way back in 2010. I was working at CBC, and they CBC was carrying the Olympics, and on the serious version of CBC, they couldn't carry the Olympics because of licensing. So they had a bunch of gaps in the serious CBC Serious channel programming where the Olympics was happening. So I created this not so Olympic moment. So we were these two small town morning radio show hosts who'd been sent to cover the Olympics that year in Vancouver, and we did a whole like maybe 12 of them where we sort of riffed on the different sports and game playing sort of that buffoonish where we were only guessing what the sports were based on the titles. And so those characters that happened for the Olympics, and then it went really well, so we did something else on CBC on series called the Know-It-Alls, where we would purportedly take listener questions about random things like why is the sky blue, or random things like that. And that also ran as a CBC podcast as well. And so we did that a bunch, and we until the Woofstock, we'd never done any like live in person stuff. It was all in studio. So when we took it on the road, it was sort of fun to actually get dressed up and do the characters. And so yeah, it started basically like 14 years before the actual shooting of it. The characters
Yeah.
were already in existence.
So it's fair to say you know this character inside and out. So you're ready for
Yeah,
this performance.
yeah, we have like yeah, like over the years as we've done this, he's got a backstory because it always comes up like he has three ex-wives, lives with his dog, he's spends a lot of time in the bathroom. All these peccadillos have sort of come out over the stretch of time.
So you're okay. So then this you're kind of playing a character, a radio host character for I'm assuming
Yeah.
more than an hour, like when you're on the radio. Like you're playing for
Yeah,
you're
well, when we did like the segments that we did for like for not so Olympic moments and the know-it-alls, um they were shorter segments, like 2 or 3 minutes.
okay.
Sometimes we record them longer. I forgot that we also did a the best of Steve and Tawny, where Lisa and I would talk to, like, we'd find on the internet or through some of these channels, you'd find people trying to promote like odd books and stuff. So we would call them up as Steve and Tawny, this morning show duo, and the people that we talked to, they didn't realize they were talking to a fake
Gotcha.
duo.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so much like the joke was on them; it was more them just reacting to us being idiots. So that was a lot of fun, and I think that's part of it too. It's not really mean spirited towards the people we're talking to. It's more reactions to like this doofus and his antics, rather than sort of being mean spirited
So
and
that's the
focus.
question I have for you is that like you brought up Sacha Baron Cohen before where he does these movies where
Yeah.
he's a character and he makes people look like fools. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I think that's for sure. Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, he like a lot of his work's been more satirical, where
Yeah.
he punches up a lot of the times, or takes
Yeah.
political actors, whether there's racism or people from the old South. And a lot of, like, I think some of his stuff, like I love all of it, but I think some of his stuff is also people just reacting to like this crazy guy and the things that are happening. But he definitely adds some bite, attacking racists or homophobes or whatever the
Yeah.
case may
Well,
be.
he's been sued a
Um,
lot, right? I think they want to get sued
I
too.
think, well, because yeah, a lot of, yeah, basically, like if people realize afterwards, like, oh, I look really bad, and then they sue. But in this case, um, it's yeah, I think most of the people came away from the experience just sort of laughing it off and sort of having fun with it.
Yeah. So that's the line where like you're the comedy, they're reacting to your craziness, right? So you're the
That's right. Yeah.
you're the
I
buffoonery.
yeah, it's just basically, yeah, just testing people's tolerance for this buffoon, basically.
And so okay, so how long like so it's a 20-minute film and obviously you kind of need to
Yes,
find a story, find a through line. Did you have a game
that
plan?
was the tricky part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, there's a little bit of leeway with the fact that it's a mockumentary, so you know, it doesn't necessarily have to have like a full story, but it definitely needs context. Uh, One of the things that a couple of months after I made the film, I realized that um, it just kind of jumps right into the action with me chatting with people, and then there's a bunch of streeter stuff, and then you go to the stage show, and they introduce me as Steve Hammerstone from the morning show, and after a while, I realized that okay, I think this needs more context, so I cheated a little bit, and so now there's a just after the credits, sort of a explainer screen where it says on whatever the date was, June of 2024, small town radio. It basically uh, lends some context because we weren't able to get it on the day. There was a thought of getting a sort of uh, a stand-up thing at the beginning of the festival, like hi, I'm Steve Hammerstone, I'm here at the covering the festival, but we didn't have that, so a bit of a cheat code with the small text screen with the basic info.
So how much hours of footage did you shoot?
It was a long day. So um, we got there. The plan was to film the live judging stuff, which started I think around 11:30 or so in the morning, and it was going to be a couple hours. So they had a couple of different judging things in a row on the stage. Uh, but we got there a little early, and then the camera guys went out and caught some B-roll stuff of dogs that we used for the interstitials, and sort of prepped and the day before I took a walk around the festival to kind of get an idea of what the lay of the land was. Walked around with my shooter as well, and so yeah, so we got there in the morning, shot the stage stuff, which happened over a couple of hours, and pretty much not much of a breaks for either the camera or me. I had to be sort of being character that whole time. So that was until about 2 in the afternoon, and then the plan was the festival was supposed to go to 5 p.m. So the plan was to do all the street stuff in the afternoon. So we did a lunch break around 2-ish, and what started happening was it was a super windy day. We're lucky it didn't get like full on storms, but the wind was really high. You can see it a little bit sometimes in the stage stuff where the tablecloth is flying around, and we got a little bit of rain. But what was happening in the vendor area is people's tents were kind of getting blown over and stuff. So uh, they started packing everything up early. So it was it was like uh, what I envisioned is sort of going from place to place, taking your time and getting interviews, turned out to be like racing from booth to booth as they were taking it apart, finding people who were still there. I'd be running around with we'd get the quick interview, and then we'd run to the next booth, and the second camera would still be getting some B-roll from that booth we left, and it became a real scramble. And if you look, you can notice it in the background. You notice people like tents being taken down, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little sparse. And there were a few vendors that I had scouted ahead of time online I went through and sort of checked out the names, and they listed all the vendors. So I sort of had some stuff, some ideas in my head of what I wanted to do with them. But uh, by the time we were running around, we missed out on some of the places that I was hoping to get. So it was so basically like a 10 to 5 kind of almost the whole time shooting, with maybe a half hour to grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
But it was basically, there was a situation where there's no like no second takes. It's you get what you get on that specific day,
Yeah.
and the weather was not great. We got lucky, we didn't get any thunderstorms or super amount of rain, but yeah, it was run and gun for that afternoon for sure.
So you got the footage
Yeah.
and then you go to so you have an editor, I guess like his name is Nick. I guess he was the he so you
Yeah.
so what's the next step?
So I so I in terms of the like, this is my first short film, so I'm not super versed in the area. I found for uh to find the shooters, there's a great Facebook group for finding like film and TV production people, like shooters, sound and stuff. So my cinematographer, um, he was really helpful with uh, referring me to a good sound as well. On for the editing, I was really concerned about having someone who had experience cutting comedy, and especially this type of stuff. So there's a website called Staff Me Up, and because the industry is super slow in the States, there's a lot of people on there who are pretty experienced. And so I found this guy who would he cuts a bunch of stuff, but the one thing that stuck out for me is he had edited some Triumph the comic insult dog segments. So it's sort of a similar situation where you have a character kind of interacting
Yeah.
with people. So he was actually based in Orange County, and so we did a lot of the stuff was online
Cool.
in terms of doing that.
And then well, I just jump back for a second. You wore a wig in the it was the mustache
Sure.
was a
Yeah.
mustache wig as well. What do they call it? A mustache wig?
No, wig and mustache. Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole like initially when I did the character a couple of years ago, I had my dad a pair of my dad's old like glasses from the 80s, and
Yeah.
a good fake mustache, and this wig that worked pretty well. So when I came to do so when I did it then, because I have terrible vision, like just really heavy astigmatism. So when I did the Woofstock a couple of years ago live, when we were shooting, I wore my dad's old glasses with no lenses in them, so everything was sort of a blur. So I thought, well, this time around, I'll get prescription lenses so I can do the gig and I can see stuff. And so I found online some glasses that were similar in style. They're new glasses, but similar in style to the ones my dad had. And I took them to the optometrist. And this is all sort of, I knew Wolfstock was coming basically in February, and so it was in June, so a really tight timeline. So I got the glasses back, and they had messed up the prescription, and it was almost like reading glasses. So if you see in the film, it looks like I have like almost like Coke bottle glasses. That's
Yeah.
that's not intentional. So I was kind of stuck again with weird vision doing this thing.
Seemed to serve the
And
film.
then on a side, and then what's that?
I said it seemed to serve the
One more
film
time.
though in your character.
A little bit, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, a little bit. I was sort of like, well, I don't want it to be too on the nose with
Yeah.
the bubbles, from Trailer Park Boys. I just like the he's caught in this like '80s style. Um, and then the mustache. I wasn't as happy with the mustache as the one I had used in the past, but the one from the past I've used like for 10 years, and it's all caked up with the adhesive, and so I did a new one. And I was so with that one. And then the wig situation, the same thing with that wig. I've had it for a long time, and it's kind of got like out of control. So I ordered a new wig. This is like a sidetrack story. I'll give you just the basics, but I ordered a wig online from this place in BC, and it looked perfect. And then it came, and it looked nothing like what they had online. It was basically like it was a $200 or $300 like decent character wig, and what arrived was probably looked like a $15 thing that had almost been spray painted, and it went back and forth, and had to like get my credit card company to fight. I wouldn't have had that hat, but
Yeah.
it worked okay because we got those hats a long time ago, the Steve and Tawny hats. So I just pulled it on and it worked okay. Um, I the the costume piece that I would love to have is a satin jacket, like a satin radio jacket with a Stephen Tawny logo on the back. But
Mm.
yeah, so it was I wasn't super happy with the my makeup costume stuff, but it's just a matter of time, and so yeah. And now I have like since then I realized that I could just put prescription lenses in my dad's old glasses, and yeah, they look a lot better.
So is there going to be a sequel then?
So I have two paths I'm thinking of. Like I've and in terms of festivals, I've also submitted it in two different ways. As a short film mockumentary, I've submitted it, but then also as an episodic, because I can envision it two ways. As an episodic, sort of, in this case, it was Hammerstone meets Woofstock. So you could essentially do Hammerstone meets whichever.
Yeah.
And in terms of episodes, I thought, okay, the next one, if we did that, would be Hammerstone meets Niagara Falls, because there's a lot of like kooky and interesting stuff
My
there.
hometown. That's where I was born and raised.
And
Yeah.
then I also,
Yeah.
are you from Niagara?
Yeah. That's where I was born and
I
raised. Yeah.
just I can imagine like night. I can imagine like Hammerstone visiting the places on Clifton Hill,
Yeah.
and then even doing even talking to people like the parks people and stuff, sort of like a the Ed did you have you watched the Edna Kunk stuff on Netflix?
Yeah.
She's sort of does a similar thing, but she's kind of a news reporter, but
Yeah.
that. And then Niagara Falls, the other thought was, well, I can kind of make it a hybrid, like um well, I guess similar, like you look at some of the Sacha Baron Cohen movies, or the Bad Trip with I'm forgetting his name, Eric Andre, where there's a narrative through line, but there's a lot of set pieces that are sort of real people, and some buffoon stuff. So I thought Niagara Falls would probably be a great location for that. Maybe Hammerstone goes to Niagara Falls, and then there's one of his ex-wives is there with someone else, and just I've sort of thought of different set pieces, whether it's in the hotel and him having weird stuff happen in the hotel, and then mixing it in with the other stuff. So yeah, there's two. Like I'm at a fork in the road where I'd like to try and do a low budget feature that sort of has a through line, a narrative to it in Niagara Falls, or um, on the other hand, I could do another Hammerstone meets and make it either an episodic or sort of a short that takes place in a different location. But
Yeah.
in terms of places, I think Niagara Falls would be the next, because it's close.
Yeah.
I know it, and I don't have to cross any borders, which is unfortunate, because it would be great to take the character to some places in the States, but I think right now that's not going to happen.
So, but there's so many opportunities, right? You can go during the wintertime to Blue Mountain and do skiing people, which you can do you can go to Yorkdale in Toronto,
Oh, yeah,
Toronto, and like talk to the
yeah, there's not, there's
yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, special events are great too. Like if there's like like a festival or like psychics or whatever,
Yeah, there's so
anything that's a
many,
little bit
right?
unusual that you can
Yeah,
kind of play with.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably in the thought process now.
yeah. You can go down to outside of a Blue Jay game. Like there's so many things that you can do, right? So Leaf game.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's so many things.
There's always people.
So then you're just looking for clips, and it's like, yeah. So it seems like you got it's like a long film, and it's works really well. Did you always want it to be 20 minutes? Was that your
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, well, I I didn't have any kind of idea going into it. I thought, well, we'll just shoot it all and see see
yeah,
what we get. And I thought, oh, maybe we get like like 10 or 12 minutes out of it. But I didn't want entertaining. And then part of it was in terms of festivals, a lot of the festivals kind of the 20-minute mark is kind of a line between length line for a lot of the festivals. The max is
yeah.
20, so I thought the more we can submit it, but also um, I think in terms of length, I guess probably because I watched it so many times, and um, I sort of think I wonder if I could have, clipped it tighter or made it tighter. The editor was good at that. He was a good second eye to kind of snip out stuff that
Yeah.
wasn't necessary or didn't hit you know hit the button properly.
Well, the film's doing well, it seems, on the second festival circuits and in a bunch of festivals. We're going to show it again at our festival on
Yeah,
August in 2 weeks, actually, 2 weeks tomorrow, on August
I'm looking.
14th.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
We got a really great
Yeah,
lineup of comedy films,
that should be
and
fun.
yeah, you'll be there for the Q&A. And yeah, it's really great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a really tone wise, this is a hard film to do. I see a lot of mockumentaries or films like this submitted to the festival, like because they think, oh,
Yeah.
we can just do this and be funny and put it together, and it's like, no, you
Yeah.
can't. and
Yeah.
and 90% of them don't work. I'm just being honest with you, and yours works, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that fine like that tone, right? Where even like you talked about
Yeah.
Steve Carell or even Will Ferrell and your character, I'm going to put them in the same category. They got to be likable.
Sure.
They could be kind of
Yeah.
obnoxious or buffoonery, but they got to be likable. We got to follow them and like them.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just a big goofball.
Yeah.
He means no harm. He's just kind of, uh, just a goofball basically. And yeah, and there's no meanness to it. He's sort of the butt of the joke. And yeah, I think that works that way.
So just to go back, I was reading your bio, and you're the second
Yeah.
person. This is so funny. The second person this week I've done a podcast with, I talked to, who works or worked at Universal Studios. It was a tour guide at Universal
Oh,
Studios.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I'm still like, I basically what happened was, I went to Ryerson for radio and television arts, and at the time there was is an exchange program. It's not a straight exchange, but basically a bunch of Canadian students could apply and get work permits to work for, I don't know, 7 or 8 months in the U.S. and then uh, it was a reciprocal thing. So people from the U.S., but it wasn't like a one for one. So I managed to um, get that work permit, and I knew I wanted to, through high school and university. My goal, my mantra was basically I want to write, act, or direct for television or film, and I always sort of had a fascination with California. So with that work permit, I knew, okay, I'm going to California. We drove down there and got a little apartment in Studio City, and then time wise, it was just around June, so the same time they start looking for guides at Universal, and it's you wouldn't know it necessarily as just someone who goes there and goes on the tour, but it's a fairly stringent recruiting process. You first go to this like 6 hour kind of no, actually, even before that, you go to the lot and it's basically hand your resume to someone, and I think it's just a filter for like, okay, this person's crazy, we're not going to bring them in. So that there's a basic kind of filter, and then you go to this conference rooms where they explain what the job is and all of these things, and then you get up and do a spontaneous chat on one of your favorite films. I did The Elephant Man. It's one of my all-time favorites. Um, and then after that, you get invited to an audition on the lot in the offices of the tour people where you do cold reads and stuff. And then you do 3 weeks, at the end of which you do a test, a written test, and then an on-tram test. And then of the like, I don't know how, well, of the like 300 or 400 people who go to the ballroom, I think only 30 people get the gig. And so I was the first guy from Canada to get it. And it was, I still am very, like, I still have a lot of nostalgia for that summer. It was really such a lot of fun because you meet similar kind of interesting people
Sure.
in the break room. And it's just a really, really exciting thing. I was actually, uh, I, I'm browsing stock footage for pictures of the Universal backlot and stuff because I want to get like a poster or a print in my place to sort of remember it.
Oh wow. Yeah. So well, yeah. So she was a yeah. She was a she's a sci-fi film that we did. So basically, sci-fi filmmaker.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, and she's working on it now
Where is she based?
in
Whereabouts is
California.
she based?
California.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. And she's a guide.
No,
Oh, nice. That's funny.
no, it's a guy. No, it's a she.
No, guide,
Oh,
like a
guide.
tour
Yeah.
guide.
I think you say guy. Yeah. She's a guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's like what you're
not
doing,
guy.
right?
No, no.
Like kind of
Oh,
spitballing,
really? That's funny. I'll
kind
have
of
to
going
check it
with the
out.
crew, entertaining the
Yeah,
tourists. I did it back in, I think
nice.
when I was like 13, 14. I remember the Jaws.
Yeah.
I remember the whole shebang. And now it's different. It's more I was and then in my 20s I went to the one in Orlando. So now I'm like,
Orlando,
yeah,
yeah.
so now I'm gonna go in my 50s probably. When I turn 50, I'll probably go.
Yeah,
So
I was I was there a long time ago. Like I went before that when I was like 16 and like
yeah.
eight. I had been a bunch of times sort of before university, and yeah, I haven't been on it really. I haven't really been back since then to the tram, but I think a lot of it is like pre-recorded video and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
ours was mostly talking, and we had a bunch of like movie themes and stuff, but that's about it.
So okay, so you might do a sequel. The film's doing well on the festival circuit. We'll show it at our festival on the 14th.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is great. So you're basically there's so many different opportunities for this film. There's certain clips that you can grab and for like YouTube,
Hmm.
like I just have all kinds of ideas. But yeah, so
Yeah,
you're on
yeah.
it. Just keep going, man, and
Keep plugging. Yeah.
keep that
Yeah.
wig
I gotta
in
get
good
a.
shape.
I will find it. I'll find a new wig and I gotta clean that old mustache up
Yeah.
and but yeah, awesome.
All right, man. Well, let's maybe I'll see you at the festival tomorrow as we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, I'll be there.
That's some good films, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
yeah, and basically looking forward to doing the Q&A with you in a couple of weeks. It's a great film, so I appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, Matthew.